I tell people that it's not about what you want to do. You don't have to figure it out yet. You just have to want to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. You just have to want to do it.
Every farmer has their own experience and has their own obstacles and have the success stories to tell the world.
If you don't start and you ask for help, nobody will. Yeah. So just start. It's nice to meet you, and you're welcome to the Youth Unmoderated podcast. I'm Adelaide Okpoti. I'm from Accra, Ghana, and I'm an indoor hydroponic farmer. I grow vegetables and herbs and sell them to supermarkets and malls. Yeah, please tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, Miss Nina. Nice to meet you. So I'm Sifa Florence Sangwa. I'm from Rwanda. I'm a farmer into chicken, pigs, and black soda fries farming. Okay. I'm also a farm consultant and agriculture influencer. Okay. Nice to meet you
too. Okay. Yeah. So I would want you to tell me more about the work you do at the influencing network, agriculture influencing network.
Yes, thank you so much. So this is the work of our social media influencers, where we specialize in agriculture, where we share the insights, the knowledge about agriculture, modernization, sustainable farming. That's where we share the stories of farmers. Okay. That's where everyone get to know what farmers around the world are doing. Yes, okay. And the Social Agriculture Influencers Network holds people from different countries in Africa. So we are able to join all the forces around the world and then share the work farmers are doing outside and how they can be successful.
Right, that sounds amazing. There's a journalist in Ghana that does similar work. She's the Ghanaian farmer, and she's making a lot of farmers visible. People appreciating the work that farmers are doing in Ghana. So I'm glad there's something like that in Rwanda too.
Yes, yeah, okay. And we are good friends. We are even the same network.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. So how is it hydroponic indoor farming in Ghana?
It's quite a new thing. To the best of my knowledge, we are the first business to do it with the technology that we have. So there are a lot of hydroponic setups, but it's in a small scale. People do it for household consumption. But what we are doing is to produce more food so that we can supply it in large quantities to households. And it comes with a lot of work, a lot of financing, a lot of capital to start. And through the support and grants from some development partners, we've been able to start a business, and that's what has been helping us run the business for the past 3 years. It's been tough, but I enjoy what I do. I love what I do, so yeah.
Have you studied agribusiness in your university or somewhere else?
Yes. Actually, my undergrad education was in statistics, and after that, I had always known I'd be a farmer. When I was in class 6, I knew I'd be a farmer. So right after undergrad, after national service, I went to read horticulture. It was a certificate course for 4 months. And before I went into that program, the horticulture program, I was running a farm with a colleague. We were running a 3-acre farm. We're growing chili and okra and tomatoes. And so, yeah, after during that time, I left the farm. I left everything in her care, and I was at that program. But before that, she had also gone to read agriculture as a certificate course from another organization. So we came back together with all the knowledge and kept running the business.
Oh, yeah. About the hydroponics, I know the hydroponics from Rwanda, they are doing it outside. We are having the green cities where they are encouraging every person in the city to build the hydroponic outside. Okay. But yours is indoor. It's very interesting. Yeah. What challenges comes up with the hydroponics?
Yes. With the indoor hydroponics, you actually have to play God. Because when I'm in my farm, I just get amazed about how amazing God is, how awesome He is. Because you have to play the person that would give the crops the nutrition they need. You have to play humidity, you have to play temperature. You have to actually do everything in precision so that the crops will be able to flourish in the indoors. Because when you take the crops from outside they have the sunlight, they have the natural air blowing, they have the natural temperature and humidity. But when you bring it indoors, you've taken all those variables out. So now you have to bring all those variables in. And there's a lot of tweaking, a lot of engineering that comes with it.
I can get it. I'm just imagining how the indoor hydroponic works.
So we've been running the business for 3 years. And the first 2 years, we were just running experiments because we needed to be good at what we're doing and understand what we're doing. So there were times that we had to run experiments on humidity to know the best humidity for the crop. And every crop has a different humidity that you have to give to it. Every crop has the amount of fertilizer or the pH and EC levels. Everything is distinct for every crop. So God is amazing. He's doing this outside and we have to do this inside.
Yes, you just have to trust God. But the technology helps a lot. So if you can compare the productivity of indoor farming, indoor hydroponic farming and outside hydroponic farming, because for me, I would advise people to practice outside because it's more more even affordable by using the affordable tools and equipment.
More affordable to run a conventional farm than an indoor farm, but it's cheaper to continue operating it indoors than outdoors. So I'll explain it. So with a conventional farm, you need maybe a couple of thousands to start, but with the indoors you are talking about hundreds of thousands to start. But with the outdoor you need more money to run it. In the indoor it's a one-time expense. Setting it up is a one-time expense, and continuing it is cheaper to run an indoor hydroponic farm than to run a conventional farm outdoors. So with the indoor hydroponic farm, you're using 95% less water. You're using the right amount of fertilizers for the crops. Everything is data precise. Everything is precision agriculture. So you are giving the right amount of everything to the crop. But outdoors, when you water or fertigate the crop, the water leaches down into the soil. So that water or that fertilizer is lost. And you have to keep on fertilizing maybe every 2 days, every 3 days. But with the indoor one, we don't throw any water away. The water just keeps cycling. So you're using 95% less water, 95% less of everything in the indoor farm as compared to the outdoor farm. Yes.
But for someone who doesn't have a background in statistics as you and in agriculture as you, so how do you think like someone can get to operate this farm efficiently without those knowledge just coming up? Like I'm a journalist maybe, and then I'm saying that I'm going to venture into hydroponic farming and it's indoor. So
I tell people that it's not about what you want to do. You don't have to figure it out yet. You just have to want to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. You just have to want to do it. I wanted to do it 3 years ago. That is why I'm here. I didn't know how to do it. I went through a journey. It was a learning process. So I think anybody can just start. And starting, you just go through where you can get information. The internet should be your friend. YouTube is my friend. I go to YouTube every day. I spend most of my day over there, learning and learning. If I have some questions or something that's bothering me, I just go there, type in, or ChatGPT. There are so many tools that we can use now. So let the internet be your friend.
Okay, the internet will be our friends.
Because the kind of horticulture or agriculture I learned in the schools that we went to, there was no hydroponic training. It was conventional farming training, and then greenhouse. So having that information or that knowledge and bringing it integrating tech into it, it was a different ball game altogether. You have to learn some of the things that you know, because now you're bringing internet or technology. So you have to merge those things together. You have to make sure that what you know conventionally is agreeing with technology and bringing that together to make more. One of the things that drives me in my business is the fact that I need less to make more. So just a few resources is making more. And with the indoor hydroponic farming, you grow 10 times more in 5 times less space. Like in a square foot conventionally, you can have just one crop there. In the indoor, the higher you go, the more crops you have. So if you're going 10 layers, you have 10 crops in just that same 1 square foot.
So if you're exploring the internet and you get the misleading information, have you ever faced that challenge, or how are you making sure that what you're getting is what is true?
Yes. So there's something called failing forward and failing fast. And in business, if you're not failing, I think you are doing something wrong. So there's a lot of misleading information on the internet, and that's why you have to start small. Because if you start big and then you make the mistake when you've done something really big, that's a huge loss. But if you start small and running things in small experiments, you can know, okay, this is not what I should. And you should be collecting data, because you cannot be running experiments and not collecting data to compare and contrast what you have already collected. So you can say, okay, when I did the experiment this month, the humidity was 28%. Next month, let me do 30%. Let's see the changes in the crops and the crop health and all those things. Yeah.
Yeah, so you advise someone to explore the internet, but also put it into practice, so you know which one works and which doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because, the indoor hydroponic technology is not something African. When I say it's not something, I mean indoor. I don't mean the hydroponic, outdoor hydroponic. I mean indoor is something African. So the weather conditions and all the conditions here are different from the Western world. So if you bring in that technology here, you have to tweak it to make sure that it works in your environment.
Yeah, I get it.
So tell me about the marketing that you do, how you support smallholder farmers.
Yes, I use social media, especially on X and Facebook, where I promote all the works that farmers are doing. So as you might be giving me the job, so I can make sure that people from Africa know that there is indoor farm in Ghana, and maybe some people can adopt it. So I approach farmers either as when I go to do a farm consultation, or when I take my day and say that I'm going to visit a certain farmer, maybe a chicken farmer, a pig farmer, or someone else, and then get to know what they are doing. Because every farmer has their own experience and has their own obstacles and have the success stories to tell the world. And the main idea about the influencing is to impact the positive change about our food systems, and to make sure that people knows that agriculture is profitable. The agriculture has their own risks, their own challenges, but the way we mitigate them, make sure that we get profit at the end of the day, and we are driving with passion. So I go and visit a farmer and then publish everything they are doing, specifically the ones that will bring attention of someone who is leading. So it might be a partner, it might be someone who wants to get inspired, it might be someone who wants to invest in their farms, and then from that, then people come and approach them, even approach me, so that I can connect them with all those farmers. And then I have done a lot with farmers, and people are now getting inspired. People are not now getting the investors from outside because of the work we are doing. So currently so far so good. I've seen people being impacted by my work, and now I'm so happy.
I find that's very interesting and supportive. If you'd ask me, I'd say what you are doing, I call it organic support system, because at my business, we do the whole value chain. So we are in, like, from the start to the finish. We source the seeds, we nurse, we grow, we harvest, we package, and then we transport it to the supermarkets almost. But then when it gets to the supermarkets almost, it doesn't end there. We have to now do marketing. Everything still comes back to us. And that is because of the cost of all those departments of running a business. So I think it's amazing that you've taken that work of the farmers, where they can concentrate and specialize in what they do, so they can help them market their produce. So I think it's interesting. But I have a question with, what is the most interesting interview or work you've done with the smallholder farmers?
Yes, there's a smallholder farmer that I met, who was in banana plantation, and I'm telling you, from that day, I was so struggling to explain, because he was 70 years old, and then he was doing banana plantation, and he said that I have done this with all of my life that I've been in the world. So I've been able to send my kids to school, even to feed my family. So, but I saw you talking about the conservation agriculture, and I want to adopt it. But how? What will it add up, and I would add up on the business and the profitability and whatever. So then when I came up, I found something interesting, and I told him to change the way he was doing. But interesting, he was a farmer and he wanted to learn, but at the same time he said that I can't do this. He said that, hey, you are young, you're just 20 years old, and you're learning me what to do. and so what I decided, because because I'm a farm consultant, I said, so now I'm going to do to take one banana and then practice all the things that I was telling you as a demo. And then we see if it doesn't work. Yes, it will not work. If it convinces you, then you adopt. But at that moment, when you say that we're going to do a demo, we're just going back, trying to do everything right, even praying to God as he said, so that if it works, then
they would have proven him wrong.
Yes. But if it doesn't, you're failing. But being a young agriculturist, being into the business that all people are in, it's very hard to take you serious as someone who is advising a farmer. But from that day when he saw the profitability after, I think it's about 3 months that he saw that there is a changes. And then he was telling everyone around that, hey, there is a girl who's called Sifa. She's from somewhere. And then she came because I was doing my studies. So she came and advised me. So you guys can approach her. And then from that day, I saw the round of connections, the networks where people were coming saying, you did this to this farm, and then I want you to come at the farm.
That sounds interesting. Looking back, we have the same, it looks like in the African region we have the same problems with the agricultural sector, so the conventional agricultural sector, because when it comes to Ghana, it's the same thing. When they see you young and then you are giving them extension services or some advice, you say, you have been farming for the past 3 decades, you are just 30 years or 20 years old, what do you think you know? But I'm glad that you didn't give up on him, that you took a step forward to show him that it works, because we would have a lot of you to say, I'm giving the knowledge, if you don't want it, I'll go away to somebody who wants it. But I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Glad.
So how is Ghanaian youth, especially youth like you, doing agribusiness? Are they much into agribusiness, or they are doing the other jobs and they are into technology or something else? Because I would see young people like ourselves not doing agriculture as a business because they think that it's dirty, it's not profitable, it's for old people, for illiterate people. So does the Ghanaian youth get into the motive and then practice agriculture?
Before it wasn't so, but I found that because of the work we do and because we are being visible online on social media, it's influencing people to get into the space. But the space is still small. When I go for my seminars and my workshops, I still meet the same circle of people. But then of late, I'm seeing new faces, and I'm seeing that there are things that are changing. And most of that work is coming from development partners like GIZ, the FAO, AGRA, and also the incubators and accelerators. They're doing amazing work. A lot of them are trying to merge those in the tech, the software, hardware, electronics engineering, electrical engineering, and bringing agriculture and meeting them at a point. So a lot of work is going on that, and I see that in the next decade there will be a lot of youth streaming into the agri-tech space. Even here in Rwanda. So we've been failing to venture into the business, especially in agriculture, because our grandmoms, whatever who is doing an agriculture is saying not being rich or having a very big business. But now because of how it is changing, even our government is putting more effort to inspire youth to do businesses, especially in agriculture, as it's vital. Someone who is functioning on empty stomach cannot function and cannot be productive. But nowadays more youth are venturing into agribusiness, and the future is in good hands. I think the work you are doing is also important because when you see people that look like you that are doing something and telling you to come into it, it convinces you to go into it. So the journalism you work at doing, influencer work you're doing is very amazing, and I commend you for that.
Thank you so much.
I wish there was somebody like more people like the Ghanaian farmer who are helping SMEs in the agribusiness space to market their products, take their products to the world markets for everybody to see. And I think the AFTA is also doing a lot of work that pushing a lot of awareness on trading within the African region. So I think in a couple of years, we'll see a lot of changes in a lot of community, a lot of people coming into the agricultural community.
And it's very needed. Actually, I would like all people to come and venture into farming.
yes,
Because if it's a youth venturing into farming, you come with fresh mind, with fresh ideas, with innovation, with creativity, with energy, so that people get to see what you're doing. Because as a youth, I wouldn't admire, or I wouldn't see someone else who is not youth inspiring me to venture into farming. But someone like you, then if I connect with you and then I get to learn from you, then I'll be like, what if I try this in Rwanda? What if I see if it works?
Then to be expanding the businesses all over the place.
That
sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Coming from where I'm coming from, my grandparents on both sides, my mother and my father's side, are both farmers. One was a livestock farmer, and was a crop farmer. And sometimes when I go back to my village and I see the youth there, a lot of them are migrating from the rural area to come to the urban area for white collar jobs. But then sometimes it beats me. Like I worry about it. And I think because of the accelerators and the incubators springing up, and there's a lot of movement from the urban areas. If you come to Ghana, most of the accelerators and incubators are in the urban areas. So you only find students or graduates that live in the urban areas applying to these programs that they run. But then some of them are moving closer to the rural areas so that those in the rural areas can have accessibility to the resources and everything that they need to be able to start their business or even support their agricultural businesses. And in Rwanda, do we see that here?
So for some companies or for some NGOs and some development partners, they have invested in rural areas specifically. So because now most of Rwanda is actually rural.
Okay.
So if they don't invest in the rural village, then we will not be able to make the produce very, very good, because we've seen that we are importing much than what we are exporting. Okay. So that's why you see Rwandan youth in this. It's because they have invested in them to come and learn from others, either from urban areas or from outside of the country, so they can go and venture into their business with some knowledge and even the inspiration they get from you. So as of FAO is supporting rural youth from different districts where they are venturing into chicken farming, to hydroponics, even the other partners. They are making sure that people from Rwanda, especially youth and women, to make sure that they get access to capacity building, because going back to Rwandans, we were not educated. People like from 50s beyond, people were educated were so low, and now you have to go there and teach them how to do it sustainably, because all of them were doing subsistence farming, and now we are moving slowly to modern agriculture, to sustainable practices. But yeah, it's a long journey, but so far we thank all those government partners, or the government itself, even people who actually at least give us this platform to meet with different partners, to meet with different people, different youth, so that we get inspired.
Talking about the FAO, I've had a lot of support from the FAO. So actually I'm working on an agri-tech solution for mushroom farming, but it is a circular economy module. It runs on the circular economy module where we collect agricultural waste from rice farms, maize farms, and soybean farms. So these waste is meant to be burnt. These farmers burn the waste because they would have to wait for 3 to 6 months for the waste to actually decompose before they can plant again. So they decide to just trash it, gather it, and then burn it. But then when we're able to take the waste, we're able to produce mushrooms with it. And by the time the mushroom's end of life reaches, it would have decomposed the waste, and we can return the waste back to these farms as compost. So it's like reducing the carbon footprint of the maize, rice, and soybean farms, but then also creating jobs for people of the rural, like youth and people in the rural areas. So I think it's an important work that FAO is doing. So if I didn't get this training, it was a training on mushroom farming. If I didn't get this training, I wouldn't have come up with solutions that could even add more sectors in the agriculture, more value chains in the agricultural industry. So I think they are doing a lot of great work. I want you to tell me about the work that you do with the FAO. and how you support the farmers, especially in the rural areas.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm doing I'm working as a livestock development technical assistant. So it's all about livestock development. So as I mentioned to you that we are supporting the community around.
Okay.
So first we started with the poultry project. Yes, that's where we invested in the FAO invested in rural youth and women. Now we have poultry model farm which has capacity of 500 chickens with the equipment and all the needs from the structure to the trainings. So now you even interact with them here. They come to learn from others. Now they will not even be able to speak in the public, but now they have gotten the energy. Even we are supporting people in hydroponic systems, in food processing systems, even people who are into all the value chain of agriculture, not only even myself, from other people who are working at FAO. We make sure that the goal of ending hunger is reached. So making sure that all the people we can be able to reach, we are reaching them, and we are leaving no one behind. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Miss Na, you are doing horticulture and even mushrooms, and so if you see a youth from rural area who doesn't have any knowledge about what you're doing, do you at least offer some trainings at your farm, or do you visit them and train them how to do it? Do you have some people who are working outside to supply you, or doing something that is raising some youth outside of your company?
So with the mushroom farming, that is the module you are going to run on. But with the hydroponic farming, it's quite of a private thing that we do, and because of the capital that is involved to start such a farm, when you train somebody, it doesn't it's not prudent to train somebody in something that you're not be able to set them up to run. But with the mushroom farm, the capital involved is much lesser, so that's the module you're going to run with that. With the mushroom farm, you are still running an MVP of it, so it's not something that is out there yet for the rural people to use yet, but that is the goal of the project.
Yeah, that goes with me with black soda fries farming. Yes, because we are empowering youth from outside, because they are collecting waste from different places and then bring it to the farm. And even we are able to come at the site, then they do sorting, because they have to make sure that the waste that is fed for black soda fries are those organic. So yes, for us, we are prototyping to see which one we work for chickens, for pigs, for fish, and all those livestock. But yeah, the goal is to empower the youth around, even the women around, so that people can get their jobs from it. Yeah, and if you're doing the circular economy, you're doing an amazing job.
Yes. Because I'm actually happy that what you're doing is also around that.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I think the future of work is circular economy. Because if somebody is throwing something away and you can get some value in it, why don't you take that thing up? Because that makes your cost of production of whatever the end product is smaller. So you'll be able to make more money, even diversify your income streams. So I think circular economy is the future of work.
It's the future of the work. Someone would say that the feed of livestock is higher, and you come up with the solution that will make sure the feed cost lowers.
Right.
Even the waste, if the waste are there, they are not being degraded as it can be. So if you turning those waste into something which is productive, then we make the world around.
It's just going.
It's circular.
It's not extract, consume, throw away. It just keeps going the cycle.
Yeah. And there are a lot of products that can come from wastage.
I've enjoyed that conversation.
So, what word would you give to a youth who want to venture into the farming, especially in horticulture or something else that you will need to tell him or her?
So I found that if you don't start and you ask for help, nobody will mind you.
Yeah.
So just start.
Yeah, that's true.
Just start. If you just have something to show, you go to somebody for help, for advice, and it will amaze you the number of people that are willing to help you, give you advice. So I'll mention two people that have played instrumental role in my life. The first one will be my life coach, Professor Williams, who has taught me social responsibility, added value to my life, respecting people, the soft skills. I've learned a lot from him. And also my sister Lanza of Ministry of Trade and Industry in Ghana. That woman is amazing. All I had to do was tell her about what I do. And this woman mentions my name and my business in places I would never in my life go on my own accord. And people are coming to the farm wanting to buy from us just because she's been mentioning her name. So my advice to the youth would be to just start, ask for help, give yourself grace, and be good at what you do. And if anybody came to you for advice, for career guidance, what would you have said to them?
Yes, I would tell them to find what they love most, and then that's the one that they will invest in. Because if you face challenges in what you're doing and you know the goal, you doesn't see it as a challenge but a solution that will help you to reach far. And it was a pleasure, a very pleasure to meet you, Miss Na, in this Youth Unmoderated podcast. And keep in touch.
Keep in touch.
Thank you.